Every neighborhood has a heartbeat, a place that represents the cultural epicenter of the area at its core. In Boston's historic North End, that place is Boston Barber and Tattoo Company. Boston Barber and Tattoo Company has become home to A-list Boston celebrities like Gordon Hayward, Milan Lucic, Brad Marchand, and Aaron Baines. Boston Barber and Tattoo is more than just Boston's most well-known corner barbershop. It's also a tourist attraction for the hundreds and thousands of people that visit the North End throughout the year. Boston Barber and Tattoo, a North End landmark that represents the cultural epicenter of the area at its core, located at 113 Salem Street.
Welcome to another edition of the Good and Plenty podcast. I am your host, Jeff Goodman, and we've got a cool, interesting show for you today. And it is none other than Denver Broncos All-Pro Chris Harris Jr. And I figured I'd do this, shake things up a little bit right after the Super Bowl, get Chris's take on the Super Bowl. He's also a huge, huge college hoops fan. Went to Kansas, follows the JayHawks. So we'll hit him with a variety of topics. But again, today's show with Chris Harris is brought to you by betonline.ag. Get a 50% sign-on bonus when you get to clnsmedia.com/win or use the promo code CLNS50. Today's show is also brought to you by Mint Mobile. Get your new wireless plan and a new SIM card shipped to you for free for just $15 at mintmobile.com/podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to the Good and Plenty podcast. You can do that wherever you listen to your pods, whether that is Stitcher, iTunes. Remember, you can find us in CLNS Media. You can find me at Goodman Hoops on Twitter, also at watchstadium.com. Now, pleased to welcome in a little bit of a different guest this week. We figured we'd do it, based on the Super Bowl, everything like that, a huge college hoop fan, and that is Chris Harris Jr. of the Denver Broncos, four-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champ. And Chris, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Always fun to be on.
Well, listen, let's start with a little bit of Super Bowl stuff, just because I'm here in Boston. We got another parade tomorrow. I'm not – let me say, first of all, I'm not a huge Patriots fan. In fact, I can't stand Bill Belichick because I had to deal with those press conferences back in the day, and they are brutal. Like, nothing worse as a media member than having to deal with the Bill Belichick press conference. Nothing.
Yeah, because, that's just how they are. That's how they run their organization. They keep everything quiet, everything in-house, and it's worked out for them.
No doubt. You can't really question it.
Yeah.
All right. The big thing that I think most people had last night watching the game, there are a few, but my number one was like, what was up with Todd Gurley? Like, why weren't they running him more? Is he hurt? Isn't he hurt? It just seemed like if he's hurt, why do you even have him on the field?
Oh, yeah. He came out after the game and said he felt great. He had an MRI earlier before the playoffs or whatever when they had a little bye, and he was good. So I just didn't understand how they never got him going. It was like they always wanted to do play action and try to go for the chunk plays instead of just really establishing the offensive line.
What was your biggest kind of takeaway from the Super? Obviously, it was not the most exciting Super Bowl in the world. We know that, but what was your biggest takeaway from it? Was it, again, just kind of the Rams offensively and their game plan?
It was just, think about it. You have a Rams team their team is kind of like a split up coaching staff. You got McVay he just controls the offense. You got Coach Wade who controls the defense. And when you look at the game, you can clearly see who is less experienced in that type of environment, that situation. And out of all the coaches, Belichick, he had a lot of experienced coaches, and then McVay's really the youngest coach there, and it really shows.
When you look at the Patriots' kind of receiving core, and I lump Gronk into it. You've gone up against those guys. What's it like, when you've got that many weapons? And I know Gronk's not Gronk anymore, but he still found a way to make probably the biggest play of the game last night. And, they got a weapon in Sony Michel, who's certainly, I think, better than most of the running backs that they've had in terms of talent-wise, different than Brady's had over the years. But when you got to deal with Edelman, when you got to deal with Gronk, how difficult is it against those guys?
Yeah. It's definitely difficult. And, Brady and them, they find ways to move those guys around, put them in motion, especially Edelman, putting them in motion, finding ways to put them on the linebacker. And it's like a chess match, man. It's really about matchups. We talk about basketball. What do people do? They try to find the weakest guy on the basketball court and try to get a pick and roll.
Yep.
That's really all Tom Brady's doing. He's just finding the mismatch, finding that guy that he can attack, and until they fix it, they'll keep attacking it, and that's pretty much what they did. And the Rams had nobody that could deal with anybody in the slot in the middle of the field, and they just kind of exploited that.
So give me the update on your recovery. I know you had a fibular hairline fracture. Is that what you had week 14? No surgery, right?
Oh, no, I'm good. I had a hairline fracture, and I was able to come back really in like 2 weeks. So I would have been able to finish the season and play more if we had a chance to go to the playoffs. But since we didn't have a chance, it was just smart to just set me down. And I was glad I was able to come back and play one last game in the Pro Bowl.
How is the Pro Bowl, Chris? Like, we all rip on it because it just looks – you look for other ways – try to make it kind of more competitive, I guess. And I don't know if there's any way you can do it. I almost feel like, you guys should just play, flag football or something like that and just have fun. Or, you're kind of doing it anyway, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, guys aren't going to go out there all the way serious and play. But, this year it was mainly the weather, I think. If we play, the game will be better if it's not raining and it's freezing cold. You know what I mean? So
it looked bad.
Guys aren't going to – you can't expect guys to bring their best in that type of weather, especially in the Expedition game.
Quick break to tell you today's show is brought to you by betonline.ag. Lots of good NBA games coming up this week to throw some money on. Tonight, you have a killer game between Toronto and Philly. Celtics and Lakers play Thursday. Go to betonline.ag today to get in on the action. BetOnline.ag is CLNS Media's preferred online sportsbook. Go to clnsmedia.com/win to get a 50% bonus when you sign up, or use the promo code CLNS50. Don't be left on the sideline with all this excitement going on the court. Plus, you can play in BetOnline's virtual casino and make some money there too. The Warriors, Bucks, and Celtics are 9-1 in their last 10 games. The Nuggets, 8-2. Meanwhile, two teams have lost 10 straight games, the Suns and the Knicks. Maybe those trends will continue. Don't forget, conference tournament season is coming fast, which means the big dance is just around the corner. Whatever you do, make sure you use betonline.ag and use the promo code CLNS50 for a 50% bonus on your first deposit. Or just go to clnsmedia.com/win. All right, so let's – I know you are a huge Kansas Hoops fan, and that's part of the reason I brought you on here. The timing was good with after the Super Bowl, but I know you, live, breathe, Kansas. You went to Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
I think your story's cool in terms of being undrafted and be able to do what you did, have done in the NFL. But, you were there for the heyday, for, the national title year for Kansas, 2008. You were there to see it. Give me your best story with one of those guys. And there was Sharon Collins. There were some good personalities on that team, right? Brandon Rush, Shady.
Man, it was, man. My good friend was Darnell Jackson. He played in the league a while. Mario, Sharon, all those guys, man, and just that whole time, man, it was just nonstop, like celebration. Like it's like we partied that whole year and it went by like a blur because us winning, like we never won anything at KU, like the Orange Bowl, being undefeated that whole year, and then top that off winning the national championship in basketball. And the way we won it, it was like one good story was I had a test the next day of the national championship, and I know my teacher, he was like, no, it doesn't matter if they lose, we're gonna have the test. If they win, then there's no class. They cancel it. Man, Mario Thomas made that three, and we didn't have to have that test. Man, that was probably the happiest day of my life right there.
Where were you watching that game? I was there for that one, and it was insane. Yeah. Obviously, the comeback. Where were you watching it, and who were you watching it with?
One of my teammates, they had a house, so I think they had like the whole team at this house. And it was just like a big party, like just watch party. It was fun.
Did you think, I mean, most people had kind of given up on them at the end of that game. Did you think there was any way they were coming back?
I mean, I thought Derrick Rose would make the free throws. And at that time, I had played Derrick Rose and them growing up. Like, they were my class. And playing AU basketball and just playing all around, they were my class. So I'm thinking like Derrick Rose, I know this is automatic, and for him to miss those free throws, I mean, that cost him for sure.
Who did you play AU with?
We're called Tulsa Bulldogs, but we're pretty good, man. We played all the top teams. We were in the top tournaments. Like I grew up playing against Blake Griffin. Like I've always been playing. It's crazy because I've been traveling the world for sports pretty much my whole life. It's crazy.
Isn't it crazy to see the difference in Blake Griffin's game? Because you saw him, I'm sure, younger than I did. But, like, he couldn't shoot outside of 10, 12 feet. And I joked with him earlier when he came into Boston and played the Celtics. I joked with him about that. Now he's drilling threes.
Yeah. Well, people don't realize Blake was a guard. People don't know that. He was 6'4", probably our freshman year. And then second year, he just got to, like, 6'6". And then, like, our senior year, man, he just got 6'9", 6'10", and just, like, really, like, bulked up. And that's really when he came on the scene right there, when his body just grew and just matured. And that's why he can handle the ball and have that type of movement that he can do out there in the court, because he was actually a guard first, kind of like Anthony Davis.
That is crazy. I didn't know that. I mean, when I first saw Blake, I think the first time I ever saw Blake, he went up in AU ball against – remember Hasheem Thabit?
Hasheem Thabit, yeah.
And
oh yeah,
I remember running down. Somebody said Blake's playing this big dude. I'd never heard of Hasheem Thabit. It was in Texas, I think. It was like I remember where that tournament was. And I think
Denton shootout.
It might have been the Denton shootout. It might have been. Yeah, and it was a good matchup because Hasheem Thabit back then was. I mean, everybody thought he was pretty good. Kansas, right now, they look vulnerable, certainly. Yeah. They don't, they lost Big Doak. They lost D'Souza. Yeah. Quentin Grimes is kind of up and down. Hasn't been as good as what we thought. LeGerald Vick, you got no idea what LeGerald Vick is going to show up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Does the streak continue? Yeah. Does the streak continue here? Are you worried?
I think I'm very worried. I think if it breaks, this is the year.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but it's just that not having that inside presence. I mean, Lawson is amazing. I think he's on pace to be All-American. I think.
Yeah, he'll be in the mix.
Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Dedrick.
Yeah, Lawson.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we had Big Dope with him in the paint, then I would definitely say we had a great chance to win it and win the Big 12 again. But losing him, that killed us, and we don't get easy points, man. They're just double teaming Lawson now, and we've always had like a big guy in the middle. I mean, if it was when we had Arthur and D-Jack and Khan and Jeff Withy, and we just Cole Aldridge. We always had somebody big in that middle, and that's always been part of Coach Self's system. And for us not to have that, I don't like our chances this year.
What's it like to be an athlete? And I know it's probably a little different to be a hoop player than a football player at Kansas.
Yeah.
But what's it like at Kansas and Lawrence, Kansas for the basketball players? Because, you know, a lot of people don't know. I mean, they go out. They're like royalty, right?
Yeah. Oh, man, it's like they're already in the NBA. It really is. I mean, as soon as they step on campus, I mean, they're pretty much celebrities. Students taking pictures with them. I mean, they pretty much worship those guys. So, I mean, if you're a high school recruit and you're listening, hey, you want to go to KU because they treat you like a guy there for sure.
They are, yeah, no doubt. So, have you followed the Silvio D'Souza thing and he got ruled ineligible? Yeah. You followed that thing and why and everything like that. Gets ruled ineligible by the NCAA for the rest of this year and all of next year for his guardian taking money for online class, whatever it was. Yeah. So his guardian took money. I say, Chris, I think it's crazy in a sense that I don't think he knew anything about it, because my take is a lot of these international kids come over. They're brought over here, and they're told where to go to college. They don't really have any choice in the matter for the most part. They're told, hey, here's where you're going to play. And then they don't know if the guardian's getting paid. They don't even probably know if it's illegal or not to be paid in college.
So where is he from?
He's originally, where's D'Souza? Originally is from, I think, boy, you got me on that. I'll remember here in a second.
Is he an international student, or is he he already been playing here?
So he was from Angola. He came over and played in Florida at IMG Academy for a couple years.
Okay.
So somebody brought him over, as is the case with a lot of international kids in basketball. You know, these guys bring them over, and they do whatever these guys tell them to do because, again, they feel obviously a sense of loyalty to the fact that, hey, I'm going to do whatever he said. He's the one who got me out of whatever situation I might have been in Angola. I'm going to try to take care of my family, so I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do. What's your take on it?
I didn't understand how he got 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, we understand this year is gone, but how do you justify next year as a student athlete? I mean, 2 years, that's a lot of years taken away from this kid.
It's the NCAA.
Something really, he didn't really do anything illegally. I mean, he didn't kill anybody. I mean, nothing so drastic to make a guy can't play his sport for 2 years. So, I mean, I would understand if he leaves and tries to go play overseas or do they have any other leagues over here that they can play in?
I mean, listen.
Whatever it was, a big baller brand, go play in Lamar Ball League.
Don't bring up the big baller brand. That league's done. That was a one and done, Chris. One and done, and a lot of dudes. I don't even think a lot of dudes got paid from that league, and that's the sad part, of that one. But he'll probably go overseas. He can make some money overseas. Might not have been an NBA player anyway, but again, I'm with you. Like, you want to hit him for this year, but let him play next year, and let him pay back whatever money it was, or let his guardian pay it back, and then let him play next year. He served his penalty. You should be in the business trying to help kids, and I think they don't know who to penalize. That's the problem. The NCAA doesn't know who to penalize. In this case, and they hit D'Souza, and I don't even know how much of a difference he would have made for Kansas at this point, but I think if he was eligible from day one, he would have helped.
But think about it. How much money did he receive?
I think it wasn't much that they proved that he received. They were saying, too, he might have gotten some money from a Maryland booster, his guardian. So there was some of that on the table, but I think he got they admitted $2,500 or something.
Oh, no, that's so for 2 years for that. Definitely NCAA is wrong for that one.
Yeah, I'm
definitely
I'm
made a mistake on that situation.
The big in Big Wireless Provider stands for a lot of things. Big contracts, big bills, and big fees. What Big Wireless doesn't want you to know is there's a way to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. Introducing Mint Mobile, the game-changing company that's taken everything wrong with Big Wireless and made it right. Mint Mobile makes it so easy to cut your bill down to just $15 a month. You can even keep your old number along with all your existing contacts with any Mint Mobile plan. There's no more paying for unlimited data that you'll never use. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, plus free shipping on your Mint Mobile SIM card, go to mintmobile.com/podcast. That's mintmobile.com/podcast. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month and get free shipping on your Mint Mobile SIM card at mintmobile.com/podcast.
All right, let's go back to football. Combo, here's one for you. I know you've been watching Zion Williamson. Put him on a football field. First of all, what position is he? Where do you put him if you can put him anywhere?
Yeah.
And how good is he?
I was thinking about it. I was like, I would put him at receiver and just have him moss everybody or just, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's fast.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to find a way to give him the ball for sure. Have him just jump over everybody. He's going to out-jump pretty much 90%, actually 100% of the corners in the NFL.
How do you cover him, Chris?
And muscle them.
Chris, like, what do you do if you have to cover him? What do you do?
You'd have to double team him. You'd have to double team him for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy,
he's just
isn't it?
too big and he's too explosive. There's not I mean, LeBron is a freak athlete, but I mean, this guy is 280. Solid muscle.
It's crazy.
I don't know any other. I don't know why they even debate the number one pick in the draft.
I don't think they are anymore.
For sure.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of understood now after watching him, and he's so much better skill-wise than we all thought. Like, everybody just thought he could dunk, right? He was a freak athlete. He could dunk.
Yeah.
But now he's quicker. He can guard. He plays hard. He's got that passion. He's a good teammate. Like, everything else has kind of come in to play here. So and then you throw in the marketing part of it, and it's like if you're right. I mean, if you're an owner, you're saying to yourself, like, I want that dude. He's gonna get people in the seats in New York with the Knicks or in Chicago or wherever. People are gonna watch him.
Yeah, I want to go to the Knicks.
You want him to go to the Knicks?
Yeah, I think Knicks is. They got to find a way in the NBA to rig that.
You think they're going to get like KD, Kyrie, and Zion?
Nah, AD's going to the Lakers.
No, I said KD. I said KD.
Oh, KD. Oh, I think they get KD, Kyrie Irving, and Zion next year.
It'd be pretty good if they did.
I think that's what they get next. The NBA has to create that though. They gotta just set it stone. I mean, I know we do the lottery, so when they do the lottery, they just got to throw an extra 100 more of those little lottery balls.
the ping pong balls? Throw them in there.
Yeah.
And even if the Knicks are relevant,
it's going to make the NBA better.
Yeah,
it's going to make the NBA better.
Hey, do you think Gronk's done?
Nah, I don't think he's done.
You think he comes back?
Oh, yeah, I think he comes back. For sure. I think as long as Brady plays, he'll play. He's not going to leave. It's like a team, you know what I mean? It's a tag team, so it's not – if Brady retires, then he'll retire. So it's like they're just – as long as them two are going to play, as long as Brady wants to play, then Gronk's going to play.
Brady keeps saying he's going to play till he's 45. You think he can make it that long? 45?
I give Brady 2 more years.
It's crazy. I mean, he didn't look that good in the Super Bowl. He didn't look that good. He's lucky the defense was that good and Jared Goff was that bad.
Well, I mean, if they can keep that formula, like you just said, the defense played great.
Yeah.
Run the ball with Sonny Michel and Burkhead and throw it to White. I mean, that's leaning on them a little bit more. And then he still doesn't have a dynamic. I mean, they get Josh Gordon right. That'll be huge for the offense. I really don't even think it's close if they get Josh Gordon.
Well, that's kind of the X factor,
Bowl, so.
Right? If they had a guy that they could throw, they don't really have anybody they could throw the ball downfield to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the crazy.
I see the Patriots actually being better next year
if they get Gordon back or somebody else.
Yeah, they're gonna get somebody else, even if Gordon doesn't. even if Gordon does come back, they're going to get another weapon either way.
What's the reputation of Gronk around the league, like as a guy? Because we all laugh at him around here because he's kind of a kid, just a big kid. Like, does everybody in the league kind of feel the same way? Is he a likable guy because of how hard he plays and everything, or no?
Oh, everybody loves Gronk. I think him just being everybody sees him as like one of the realest ones on their team. You know what I mean? He is who he is. So he hadn't changed or anything. So since he got in the league, so I think guys around the league love him. And he's a dog on the field.
Yeah, no doubt. Who talks the most shit? What's the wide receiver who talks the most shit to you?
On the Patriots?
No, period. In the NFL.
Oh, period. Oh man. Receivers, they don't really talk mess to me, man. They're really nice, really.
They're really nice.
I said the guy that talks the most mess to me though is Phillip Rivers. Easy.
Phillip Rivers does?
Hands down.
But everybody says
the first play of the game last year, he just goes off on me. He goes, Harris, if you want action, you're going to get action. I'm like, whoa, this is like the first play of the game.
He doesn't swear either, right? He doesn't swear.
And he doesn't cuss. He doesn't swear at all. And I don't know. I think it's just me, though. Maybe it's because I picked him off more than anybody that he's faced probably in his career.
Yeah.
So maybe he just has an animosity with me.
Do you talk? Are you talking to a lot of receivers or not really?
No, I don't really talk too much, man. I'm going against the best receiver every game, so I don't really. You kind of don't want to wake them up too much. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I don't blame you.
You don't want to talk. You don't want to talk and wake up AB or Julio or those guys.
Who's the toughest matchup? Who's the receiver that you want to go against because it's the ultimate challenge? Who is that?
Yeah. Over my career, the toughest matchups has been Gronk, when I've ever had to guard Gronk.
Yeah.
AB, Antonio Brown, Julio, AJ Green. I've had to face him every year. Now you got Tyree Hill, a guy I've had to face every year. So
he's fast.
Even Keenan Allen. I mean, with the Chargers, haven't seen him every year since he's been in the league. So it's tons of receivers I have to face every year and just get ready for.
Is it crazy to you what's going on in Pittsburgh? Like, that's been like a soap opera this year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, again, like obviously Le'Veon Bell and now Antonio Brown, and I mean, I don't know enough about it. I'm looking at it from the outside.
Yeah.
Are you almost shocked of what that's become with all the talent they have?
Actually, no, I'm really not. In NFL, you have to actually like your teammates to win, and it has to be like a true family. And everybody has to have that same accountability level. And if you don't have that, and what you hear around the league is, I mean, AB does pretty much his own. He's on his own schedule. And when you have that, you're not winning those Super Bowls like that. Everybody has to be on the same page, just the same heartbeat, and that's what it takes to win. So I'm not surprised at all.
Best hoop player that you've played pickup against? Who is it?
Ooh, I'll say the Morris twins, man. They was cheating out there in the rec back in college.
They were nuts too, weren't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Marcus is still playing great. I mean, he's still shooting the same way, and I think he's shooting better now.
He is. No, he's been great this year.
Yeah, I definitely tune in to basketball, man. I'm watching that for sure.
Who's your favorite player? Who's your favorite player in the NBA right now?
Favorite player in the NBA? I would have to say Kyrie Irving.
He's interesting.
The way he handles the ball.
Oh yeah.
Way he can score, pass. I mean, I love Kyrie. Westbrook. I just like Westbrook's mentality. He has like the same mentality I try to play with in football. So that's one guy I like.
Yeah, you got that chip on your shoulder, right? I mean, from being undrafted, you kind of carry that. I assume you carry that chip with you every day.
Oh yeah, I feel like you got to have that, and I mean that's what Westbrook. I mean, when they know he's gonna go hard, all out on the court every night, that kind of like sets the tone for your teammates. So that's what I try to do.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you jumping on, my man, and I'm glad you're healthy. Glad you're good.
Oh yeah.
So what do you do this off season now? Like, what will you jump around? Will you go to Kansas games at all?
Oh man, I was scheduled to go on the 9th, man. Just I had something else come up, but I'm going to the spring game though. Go meet Coach Miles and meet those new guys for sure.
Got to go to some like NCAA. Got to go to Final Four, Minneapolis. Beautiful out. It'll be like -10.
Oh no, I'll definitely be at the house watching.
Smart move.
I'm going to the Nugget playoff games though.
You gonna go to Nuggets playoff games?
Yeah, a couple of those. Oh yeah, for sure.
They're good this year. They are good.
Check those boys out.
All right. Well, listen.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciate you jumping on. Good to be able to talk a combo of a little football and hoops with you. And again, enjoy your off season, and we'll do it again next year.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Thanks again for joining us. Another edition of Good and Plenty in the Books. Remember, every Tuesday, Thursday, we're coming to you. I want to thank Chris Harris for joining us, giving us his insight on the Super Bowl, some other stuff football related, and also Kansas hoops. And I want to thank my producer, Evan Valente, as usual, for hooking me up here. And we will see you later in the week. Good and Plenty. Thanks.
Hey, sports fans. I'm Coach Nick of the B-Ball Breakdown podcast on the CLNS Media Network. I break down the NBA from a coach's perspective and have some of the best basketball minds join me weekly to discuss the latest NBA news and what's truly going on the court. Subscribe to the B-Ball Breakdown podcast wherever you get your podcasts or find us on clnsmedia.com. It's a great conversation. You in?